All right, so good morning, and a video here for the group and Tim's questions. I have not read these. I just knew it was involved, so I said let's just go through it together. Hope you're having a great weekend, George. I am. I'm currently doing a 100 level break level challenge. Congratulations. Most people do not. Um, and I have a bunch of questions so that my data comes out right. I so far have done the last 20 trading days. Now, one of the things I do want to mention about these break levels during the Trump era is we've had tremendously large candle days. So I'm real interested. I don't believe the success rate of the system has changed. It's just the stop losses seem to be bigger, but it might be something worth noting because certainly when I did the 100 level break challenge and Bill did the 100 level break challenge, an 8 point candle was a rare event. It was a rare event. And now it's a normal. So it's interesting. So far, I've done the last 20 days. I started doing the end of the day charts and having so much fun with it. It is fun to finally see all the trades that exist on the chart. So I got carried away and kept going back in time and did the last month. I so far have recorded 25 trades. Netted 29 points with 2 losing trades, included in the net 39. Okay, cool. So what is a losing trade? That would be one thing that we should discuss as well. What is a losing trade? Um, I've been using a 6 point stop loss as this is what Bill did for his stop loss. Um, okay. I don't know if that's true. I could be wrong. Let's talk about that here in a second. I also saw that in real life you use a 1 point stop loss, but on the latter point, I also heard that you suggested in the video, which would you like for me to use? I could easily modify the data to reflect it. I did notice that there would be many more losses if a less than a 6 point stop loss was used, which is another reason why I used it. I used 2 points beyond the ladder point. So the way I recommend trading the break levels is, so let's say you have this break level right here. Okay. So I mark the body, then you can mark the ladder point, and 2 points beyond that to me is the appropriate stop loss. 2 points beyond that is the appropriate stop loss. Now, one of the things you want to do, and this would be really valuable for the group, especially because this is Trump candles, is 2 points still an appropriate stop loss in the Trump candle era where we're having large candles. But typically, when I did mine, I'm used 2 points beyond the break level because from my remembrance, 98% of the trades didn't go more than 2 points. And if they go more than 2 points, they keep going. So you want to keep track of how much heat does a break level take. Like, let's say this was a break level, which I don't think it actually is a break level. And I'll tell you why. There's no front side. So as you get a little more picky, you'll start seeing that. But let's go look at this real quick. Let's just look at this one. So this would have been your entry. I typically will, this is ugly. This is not a great example, but typically I'll enter 2 ticks in front of the body and 2 points above here. So what I would want you to do is I'd want you to come in here and go, okay, how much heat did that take? Only 1 point. And then it came back in 3.5 points. Okay. So this took, in my opinion, 1 point of heat. So I would record that as 1 point of heat. Now let's look at this one. Okay. So this one has one candle, two candle. It does have a front side. This is a legit break level. There's the body. Here's the wick. And the stop would be 2 points beyond that. So it didn't get there at all. You would have front ran that by 2 ticks. Your stop would have been here. Zero heat. Beautiful touch and go. And for your metrics, you would want to follow that at 50%. So let's do a little 50% here. That went as far as 11 points. So I would record that as a 5.5 point winner, is how I would record that. Hopefully that actually clears up a lot of your questions. I have no clue. I haven't looked at them. All right. So let me get back to your questions. I would not use 6 points past the break level. I would use 2 points, but measure it every time, and you will have some really good data. And I want you to share that data, please. I have not done this exercise in Trump Candleland. I'm going to pick days at random for the remainder of the days. Do not do that. Just continue to go back in time. What you'd like to do is develop a solid date from, okay, I'm doing from January to today. Let's say you did January until today. That would be awesome. I could put that in our database. Um, and that time frame has now been taken. So just keep doing it in order. I don't suggest being random, but if you wanted to do random, do half of the break level challenge in Trump era and half sometime last year. Okay, because those are two different markets. You would have to agree with that, right? So that might be a way to do it. Do 50 in the Trump era, January and after, and 50 sometime last year. How am I taking the 50% of the move is on 3 minute after entry, 3 minute to close, bringing my stop back to 50%. I just measured, I just showed you. It bounced here. What was the biggest part of the move? Come on. I'm clicking the wrong button. I measure here and go, that was the biggest part of the move, captured 50%, 6 points. That's how I do it. Just make it quick. Don't be so, no. I'll let you measure it based off what I just said. I don't need to try to figure out what you just said. We're probably saying the same thing. If I get entered into a trade and the first candle closes against the initial entry in the first candle without any profits, I see that as a very bad sign. Immediately lower the profit. So far, I am able to get out of this, except I really don't understand what you're saying. I noticed that once a trade closes against me without any profit, these should be pretty nice touch and go trades. The only time you may not want to worry about the touch and go is if you're in an area on the chart where you really want to be in that trade. So, for example, let's say we have a multi-day chop zone. Okay, we've spent multiple days back and forth in here. Okay, and then after multiple days down back in here, we get a break level, and you get to go long at the bottom of the range. I might take heat. I might take back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because I want to be long in this section of the range. So how I would play this break level is much different than if I got a break level here to go long in the red area. Does that make sense? So sometimes how I want to play that depends on where price is. I'm a touch and go trader. I tend to move my stops to break even rather quickly, probably too quickly. Other traders have much better holding power than me and actually have better results in our group. So that's how I look at it. I like touch and goes. I really see how you like touch. That's so funny. I can really see how you like touch and goes trades, because if price hangs out or worse, it goes against your initial entry. It's a big red flag. Just remember one thing about a loss. Losses happen. No single loss should ever really hurt you. So it's okay if you take a loss. But you want to be sized properly. If your heart is beating too quickly, you size too big, go ahead and get out. You can see how I'm getting so much value in insider. Oh, this challenge is great. I mean, I wish more people did it, but people are so excited to get further into the training, they tend to forget about it. Also, don't trade if the previous candle was 8 points, or any candle that falls on every. That's up to you. If anything, make you a special column. Still count it, but maybe make a column that it's a 8 point candle land. Okay. Or turn on your essentials indicator. Okay. And when this thing came into here, let's go back in time. So let's go one more candle. One more right there. It had an ATR of 5.1. Maybe you mark that. You know, sometimes the absolute best trades is a big old 8 to 15 point candle coming right at your level. Those are sometimes the best touch and goes. So maybe track it by ATR. That might be an interesting idea. I haven't done that yet. We haven't made an ATR a part of our system till Trump era. And we went, I've got to have a way that I can help people understand we're going to have lots of 8 point candles, but as long as this is 10 or under, I think it's okay to trade. 8 or under is ideal, my humble opinion. So something to think about. I think you should track every one of them no matter what. Just make special notes. That was an 8 point candle coming at me. The ATR was 5.1. Boy, that seems to be working. But boy, when that ATR gets above 10, where this turns red, my success rate goes down. That might be something good to know, wouldn't it? So 8-point candles don't scare me. It's just the first warning to an expanding ATR. And that's what I said when I first created this 8-point candle indicator, is it's the first warning to an expanding ATR. It doesn't mean it's going to expand. That might be the only 8-point candle today. And there was a time that was true. If you got an 8-point candle in a day, it was like, wow, what's going on? So yeah. Also, after watching your videos on backside, frontside, fair value, guys, I might have become a bit confused of whether or not the levels become tested based on the following. Photo below, I marked 3 break levels, 2 of which are more clear and crisp. Those are the ones you really want to mark, where price moved away immediately. Isn't that interesting? What'd you just say? What'd you just say? 2 of which were more clear and crisp. That's right. Clean, clear, and crisp. These are the levels I would trade on, sure. The level where I marked tested, marked where the wick came within 3 ticks level, showing me the price a bit more. All right, I think you actually just marked the same one I marked over here. So I do not consider it. First of all, it has to qualify as a level. How does it qualify as a level? 1 candle, 2 candles. Now, on the opening of this candle, this is now a break level. When price comes back into here is when I count the 3 ticks. Okay, so right here at this moment, it would now be tested. This candle does not test it. Okay, this candle might determine whether it's muddy, whether it's clean, clear, or crisp, but it doesn't count for the test. In fact, it's part of the criteria. 1 candle cleared, 2 candles cleared. Now it's a legit level. Now this is tested at that exact moment. Does that make sense? I hope that wasn't too many questions. No. I really would love to do on a front side, and well, that's up to you. Do all your back testing you want, but once you do the 100 level break challenge, what that does is it proves to you there is one single trade that if I'm going to take one single trade, what is probably the highest probability trade on the chart, it's the first bounce level I teach. And then the rest, just do your end of the day charts. And then if you're using my trade journal, you can make one of them as a primary entry, called end of the day chart. I just posted a video on that. This video right here, end of the day charts. Go watch that video and start using the trade journal if you want, and do the same 100 break level challenge, but on 100 core strategy levels. And that might be hundreds, in case you didn't see this. So at microstrader.com, if you come here to our results, all right, come over here to our results. Watch this video. Okay, watch that video. Watch that video. What happened to all the trades? There they are. You'll see I basically did the same thing for a ton of these trades. So if you haven't watched this, I recommend you go watch this. And there's the data as well. This is one reason I don't trade New York lunch. I can't tell you how many losers are in New York lunch. It's just pretty fascinating. So if you haven't looked at our results, I encourage you to go look at it.